Christina over. Felix, pretend we're customers. Nobody knows. Well, hello there. Welcome. We're actually just pulling up here, pretending we're customers. Just gotta run inside and see what the agenda brings for today. Gotta do a little bit of paperwork from yesterday, and who knows what today will bring. So let's figure it out. We got some parts. All right, we're loaded up here. We're actually just going to do a generator service on a Kohler. So we have a little bit of a hike to go because we got to get all the way over to Tampa Bay, over to Apollo Beach. So let me get driving here and I'll meet you over there. Oh, we went too far. Here it is. I can see the boat in the background. See if we can zoom in. Oh, look at that. We're in. Here's our boat back there. All right, we made it. Let's get loaded up here. Got my parts, got my wagon, tools I need, and let's get out there and see where that generator's at, because a lot of times they put those generators in the bilge, and they're kind of hard access. So hopefully I can get to everything we need to on the motor here. We don't have to do anything crazy or take anything apart. So let's get out to the boat. Here we got our wagon, everything we should need. There's our boat. It's a I think it's a 325 Conquest, I think they call the cabin style boats for Boston whaler. We got a Sea Ray over here. Pretty cool docks. They're way out here. It's shallow all the way through here. It's got a nice robalo too next to the whaler. Yeah, so yeah, it's a 315 Conquest. I like the nice blue color on it too. Let me get it lower down so we can jump in. I'm gonna guess our generator is in the hole here, so we'll have to get our table out of the way and do what we can to get in there. Got some real low tide right now. Hopefully it'll come up so I can lower this thing and run the generator. Looks like we got new actuators on these Verados though. Shore power's in. Let's make sure we got no batteries on. Batteries are off. Nice little cabin in here. I like these boats. Well done. Simrads, Mercury. So I don't know if I'll take this table out of the way or not. Let's open this and see. Oh, great. Just what I thought. This thing is buried in here. So hopefully I get my hand in there and we can get some of this apart. Or everything should be accessible here, except for I think there's a spark plug. I don't know if this is a V-twin or not, but the V-twins have a spark plug on each side here. So let me take this apart and see what we got first. We're looking at this here now. Most of everything is in the front here, but I'm gonna have to take this top off, see if I can get these sides off. Somehow I'm gonna have to reach my hand back because this is a V-twin, and get the other side, get the spark plug on the other side. But fuel filter basically down here. Take that off. There's our water pump, our oil drain right here, no big deal, and I got an anode for it, which goes right here in our heat exchanger. So first, these right here. I'm gonna try to get these off and all the way around so I can at least pick this up, get our side off, and maybe I can reach around, like I said, to get to the very back because there ain't a whole lot of room. You can't see anything back there really. Well, so I can reach this one. I can't reach the backside, so looking at this, I was looking for access. Behind the seat, there's access panels, but that's actually for your steering actuators and all the electronics components, everything are mounted behind the seat, behind the wall. I actually have to take this whole assembly out. Pull this whole assembly so I can get to the top of the generator into that backside there where the spark plug is. Everything else is in the front, but the one spark plug that I need to look at or need to change out is behind all this. Right below it here. Like I say, there's no way for me to reach underneath here really. I mean, I'm pretty well trapped. There's just components everywhere. I can maybe lay down and get to that side, but then I'd be laying on all this stuff, and I don't even know if I can reach it. So let me pull. I guess I'm gonna pull this out of here so we can get to the top over there. Finally. Maybe I should have moved the table, now it's in my way. This thing weighs 200 pounds. There we go. Now, we can get to everything. After fighting with this seat for the past 20 minutes, now we got the top of our cover here, and we can get to our spark plug, which will be on the other side. So let's take these out first, and see if we can just remove this off, because basically we only got to get to this one side. We can check everything on top, make sure nothing's leaking. Can't really get too much to these sides because everything's pretty tight in here. And if you had to do anything, you'd have to take this out, basically remove the generator out of this hole, which means taking all the batteries out that are forward of it, everything, sliding this thing forward and picking it up. Not gonna be fun. So let's get this cover off first. All right, we got their lid basically slid off the back side. We're just gonna have to let this hang. I got that side off over there, the port side. That side's just falling down, but there's a siphon brake and the exhaust on the other side that doesn't come off. So put this down. Now, we can see there's our other side of the motor, our V-twin here. We should be able to get my hand in here and get this spark plug out first. That way we do that first. I'm gonna remind myself to plug in our fire extinguisher too. It's kind of important. Make sure we don't pull that cable. Yeah, just get that in here. We'll look at everything, do a quick visual. Everything looks good so far. You can see the other side of our heat exchanger here. This has a plastic plug. I've seen these sometimes will break or leak water. This one looks good. Probably doesn't have many hours on it. Yeah, there's our other side. There's our spark plug. So let's do that first. All right, let's get this wire off of the plug. This is always the only problem with these is this back spark plug, such a pain. Everything else is basically serviceable from up front, except for this. You definitely want to change the plugs in these as much as you can for every service if you can, because it's a known problem. And they do not like to run on one cylinder. Looks good, she's a little warm, but that's normal. All right, let's get our new one in. Blindly find the hole here. I'm a guy, I'm used to it. All right, let's snug it up. Basically, that's all we gotta do to this side of the motor. All that work for one spark plug. I'm gonna have to definitely clean all this and seal it really good again for the next time we have to do this. Fun. Get our wire back on. And there we go. That side's done for now. Well, since we're already doing spark plugs, we might as well do the front one. That one looks good too. It's about the same. It's a little warm, white, normal. Looks good. There we go, fresh fire. We'll do the oil last because that's going to be the messiest part to drain. So now let's pull off our cooler hose here. It looks like, I don't think we'll have to pull that off maybe, but just move this out of the way to get to our oil filter here. So let's pull this off. That's our cooling for our VST right here. Get this off, that way we can get to the bottom of this right here so we can get our filter on. All right, let's get our fuel fittings off here. Leak a little bit of fuel. thread, so I just use a little bit of thread sealer on it. Make sure she's tight. It doesn't have to be too tight. Just snug. That way you can get it back off there next time you want to do it. She's tight. Hopefully she won't leak. Alright, so now we have our impeller. Little baby one. Just have to take off. Get the camera down here. Our hoses that are on our water pump there. And there's 2 bolts, basically, that hold it all together. So, actually, I'm just going to take the bolts out. Can't tell if I'm in the way of the camera or not. Difficult spot to get to. It'd be easier if all those batteries weren't in the way. Wasn't too bad. The question is, our impeller looks good. Make sure there wasn't anything missing, no blades or anything missing, because then we'd have to look for them. See if I can get our impeller out real quick. Usually pretty easy. There she is. Well, she's definitely been sitting a while. You can see that curvature on the blades. Wouldn't be long till she probably starts to come apart. That's why you need to change these every year. I suggest every year anyways, because this is what happens. Just a cheap piece of rubber and it only lasts so long. We also got to get our O-ring out of here. Remember, change that too, because they flatten out over time. We should be able to line this up just like it was. I think I'm gonna have to get down there, basically lay down and get inside here. Let's see if I can do that. There she goes. Try to get a better grip on it. Once it goes right in. Alright, now we got our little new O-ring to put on. There she is. Put our cover plate back on. So another thing too, you gotta make sure this doesn't have any damage or scoring or anything, because it'll eat up an impeller if it does. And clean off all the little bit of salt and stuff that's on it here. As long as this is pretty good and smooth here, you should be fine. Make sure you don't move that O-ring when you put this together. Yep, good and tight. Let's get our hoses back on. There we go. Almost forgot too. I'm gonna take this anode out right here. And there she goes. Starting to get soft. Get our new one in. And there we go, she's tight. Now you see there's a drain arrow right here. It's actually all the way down underneath here. It's just a valve. You can turn it and it'll let the oil come out of here. So what I'm going to do, I got my bucket. Just take an old cup. Just set it down here so we can drain it into the cup and turn it on and off basically and get all the oil going. Alright, now she's flowing. It'll take a little time. It doesn't hold much, maybe 2 quarts at the most. We'll let that flow. Now we can get our oil filter out of here. Well, I just loosened the filter. I didn't realize that I didn't have the camera on. We're loose. There she is. Really make sure you put some oil on your seal here when you put the new one on. And the oil filter, you want to get it, spin it as hard as you can by hand. A lot of people over tighten these. They don't need to be. So that seal is good. Alright, I think we're about empty on oil here. A little bit draining out now. Nothing on her stick at all. All right, I don't really see any more draining out of here. Let's get our hose back where she goes. All right, that wasn't too bad, but taking this back wall off here and getting to the back of the motor, that wasn't fun. Plus I'm gonna have to reseal all that. That's not gonna be fun. The fuel filter, hopefully we got no leaks there, and it was all right. Spark plug's not a big deal. The impeller can be kind of a tricky one. You can actually pull that all the way off if you want to pull the belt off and everything. I already checked the tension of the belt. You want to do that. Make sure it's not slipping. It's good and tight. So I'm just going to add some oil to it now. And we'll lower this boat down and fire it up, see what we got. Well, we got to change the plans here because our tide is so low that this boat is not going to float in this water. I don't want to suck any of that crap up that's underneath us. It's got a real low tide right now. So I stuck a hose in our strainer, turn the valve off. Now we're going to turn the batteries on and we'll fire it up. And I'll turn the hose on and let her pump some water. We got 64 hours on it. All right, let's push the start button. Try that again, ain't no fuel in it. Might take a couple times to prime itself up. That sounds better. Alright, well I can't really talk while this thing's being super noisy. But everything looked good. I'm gonna let it run a little bit longer here, but I wanted to show you we got no leaks from a water pump. Got no leaks here from our fuel filter, any of that. There's nothing leaking there. But we got our new anode, nothing's leaking there. I'm gonna pull this cover back and look at the back when it's running and stuff. We still gotta put the seat back on. I want to seal all that back up here. Like I said, get our covers back on here. Put our strainer, clean our strainer, put it back together, and we should be good to go. So I put this all back together, get my seat back in. That's probably another hour of just getting all this stuff put back together. You see how hard it was to get that seat out. That took me 15 minutes of finagling just to get that thing to slide out of there because of where the bolts are, where it bolts in super tight. So I snuck it out of there, lucky, because that was the only way we could get to the top of this motor here. So hopefully if you're doing a service on one of these, you don't have that trouble. But if you have one of these boats, you see what you have to do here. This took me over half a day already just to get all this completed. With that being said, I appreciate everybody watching like always, and I will see you next time. Later.
Happened.